everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Veronika Svanstrom, your positive psychology and mindfulness coach. And today I'm here with the third episode from the series about the superpowers that are your character strengths. This is a series that tries to offer a bird's eye view so that you get familiar with the concept. If you feel you need coaching, please get in touch with me at any of the email addresses that I left in the description box down below. And I will be delighted to meet you online so I can see how I can be of service to you. In this episode, we will find out the quickest way we can reach fulfillment. And so we will approach the character strengths of gratitude from a general perspective. As you know, this series contains two types of episodes. One, in the first one, we approach the character strength from a general perspective, and in the next one, we will approach it from the golden mean point of view. In the next episode about the golden mean of gratitude, I will have for you two scientifically proven ways to practice gratitude for best results. So as we know, every character strength falls under a virtue category. And gratitude falls under the virtue category of transcendence. The virtue of transcendence includes character strengths that provide us with meaning and help us connect to the larger universe. Gratitude means to be aware and thankful for what we already have in our life, for the people, the things, and we should include here our pets, our hobbies, and so on. And for events that make us feel good and bring us joy. Gratitude is a positive emotion that all have, and everyone in every corner of the world, no matter the creed or level of education, can feel gratitude. But what is most important about gratitude is that it's the easiest step that we can all take towards long-lasting fulfillment. In the last decades, it has been found that gratitude affects our health, both mental and physical, in a number of ways, of positive ways, of course. It reduces our stress, anxiety, and depression. It reduces pain. It results in better sleep, and it grants better mood. And since it's so easy to experience gratitude, I think we can easily conclude that gratitude is the first step that we can all take towards that feeling of long-lasting satisfaction or fulfillment that we are all after. Pure ecstatic happiness involves emotions that last for a very short while and are at the peak of the game. It's like being in a roller coaster. I assume that if you are here, then you too have probably come to realize that what you really want is a state of fulfillment and that lasts. For our day-to-day life, we probably want to feel this fulfillment and not the ecstatic type of happiness, because those states last very little and are so intense and they pass us by so quickly that we don't even get to actually feel them. And so we end up by simply not being able to savor those moments. Studies show that grateful people are more likely to engage in more activities meant to help other people, that they enjoy their jobs more, and they put less emphasis on material goods. And the very good news is that we can make a conscious decision at any time in our life to develop a more grateful attitude in our life. And here is a small interview about a person who actually did just that from The Power of Character Strengths, Appreciate and Ignite Your Positive Psychology by Ryan Nimick and Robert McGrath, the book that we usually read from these interviews. So this is about Gabriela. She's 48 years old and she's a librarian. Developing an attitude of gratitude was a conscious, specific decision on my part. I was in the middle of my divorce. My kids were 2 and 6. I had a full-time job and a house, lots of emotional and financial concerns. Everything looked really bleak, and I was gasping for something to hold on to. Everything was up in the air. I remember driving home from work. I turned up my street and there was a magnificent sunset. And in that moment I went, oh, and I realized it was the brightest spot of my day. I felt a spiritual uplift, and I remember thinking, this is what I need. I need more of this feeling. And thinking, how do I get that? What I realized I was experiencing then was gratitude. That no matter how bad things go, I still had a lot in my life worth valuing and being grateful for. Realizing that took a weight off my shoulders. Sometimes it feels like a game I play. My boyfriend came home and talked about someone in a much worse situation, and I'm grateful for my own circumstance. Other times it's an exercise you have to do when you get mired in your stuff and have to get out of it. For me, especially, it's a defined skill. It's something I have to work on, like my physical exercises. You have to make a decision to do it, and you have to look in every nook and cranny in your life. The times gratitude is most useful are the times it's hardest to find. You might wonder why it's important to know how you should use your strength. Well, one first reason is because any strength that is underused or overused becomes a weakness. And a second reason is because, let's take an example. Let's say that you have forgiveness in top of your profiles among your first five. And being over forgiving, that means overusing forgiveness, will make others treat you like a doormat. And so you will feel that everyone takes advantage of you, which can only lead to frustration, which leads to then dissatisfaction about relationships, both personally and professionally. And I think that in itself is reason enough to want to know how you can optimize the use of your own strengths. Gratitude is underused when we are self absorbed and behave like we are entitled. Too much gratitude, it's overuse in other words, can seem contrived and repetitive to the recipients, and in the way that they are not looking for thanks from us and they don't feel that they've done something special. And here is an interview again from the same book. Yes, like you probably used by now. We this book contains small interviews with people who use their character strengths and are aware of it. And now we are talking about Nicole. She's 26 years old and she's a marketing executive. And she offers us her story on the overuse of gratitude. I got a divorce at a fairly early age and I became involved pretty quickly with another guy. Gratitude had always been a high strength of mine. So naturally, I applied it in my new relationship, which I was especially grateful for because it led me to deflect some of my loneliness and career disappointment at that time. When he would do something nice for me, no matter how small, I would explode with gratitude. Even when he just hung out with me, I experienced gratitude. But over time, I realized gratitude was blinding me to the reality that this guy actually offered me very little. He wasn't very emotionally supportive and didn't have much patience for my struggling to put my life back together. It took me a while to see all of this. Eventually, I realized he wasn't right for me, but it taught me that I need to balance gratitude, being realistic, and caring for myself. I was grateful for him, but I needed to reach a point where that didn't blind me to his serious limitations. After we broke up, I met a much more caring guy, and now I can be both grateful and confident that he's right for me. The optimal way is to feel connected and to appreciate the positives, taking the time to understand why we are grateful, where the thing or person we are grateful for came from, and how it feels in our body when we experience gratitude. I was saying in that I will give you two scientific tools to increase your level of life satisfaction using gratitude. The first one is to start today, if possible, a gratitude journal, where you will write every day 3 things that happened to you that day and that you were grateful for at the end of the day, no matter how small. Actually, before you start writing, close your eyes if you need to and relive those moments as detailed as possible. Take your time, don't hurry it, By doing this, you actually double the duration and the intensity of the positive emotions generated by those things you're grateful for. Because you're experiencing those emotions again. And doesn't it feel great? And the second tool is this. If you sometimes struggle with feeling grateful, try to imagine how you would feel if you did not have those persons and things in your life. Dwell in this scenario for 1 or 2 minutes and then see if it's easier to feel grateful for what you have. We know by now that applying the golden mean involves being a bit more aware of how we manifest our strengths, gratitude in this case. So we can ask ourselves, for example, what effect does it have on people when I express gratitude? Or do I express gratitude to others more out of a deep feeling of appreciation or just because of social conventions? So, to reap as many benefits from our own character strengths, I recommend a visualization exercise called Best Version of Self, where you are invited to visualize yourself in the best possible version. How you want your life to be, what you want to do in your life from now on. And again, visualize this as detailed as possible, just like we did in the journaling exercise. This will energize you a great deal because you what you are burning for, your life goal basically. And that is something that once we realize, we start acting towards. It's something we want with all our heart and soul. And this will push us to act. It's only natural. Everything that you want with all your heart, you usually can't wait to act upon. And you go until the end. So most likely you will feel the need to know your character strengths once you have done this exercise, this best version of self. And then you will probably feel the need to work with your character strengths, so you start reaping the benefits. Now let's move on to examples of golden mean actions. So how can we apply gratitude optimally? At work, we can express thanks to someone who deserves it, but who is typically not recognized. In nature is always full of things that we can see, hear, and appreciate. Trees, mountains, a puddle covered in dead leaves, fallen leaves. So we can pause and to give thanks to any element that allows us to feel more connected with life outside of ourselves. Turned inward, we can give thanks to our body and our mind and our spirit. We can smile, we can connect with ourselves, and we can appreciate ourselves. So this is it for today. Follow me in the next episode where we will talk about social intelligence. Very important for better relationships. If you want to know more about character strengths, watch the episode I have linked in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.